From sweet and wholesome to absolute madness, but in a good way. From having the two siblings talk it out was a really heartwarming segment. And another thing that got my heart stirring was seeing an evil now. WTF, we need more of this. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton. Today let's talk about episode 22 of the Cardfight Vanguard Divine Anime series. The conclusion to the two Hikaris matchup and a massive plot progression episode that ties a lot of things together. So without further ado, let's dive straight into things. So I want to start off by talking about the ending of this fight, because seeing how the future Hikari avoided losing with that set order card was very much an Akina move, showing us that she's learned from her experiences, and she's now choosing to reach out for that glimmer of hope. Now the one thing that really did make me laugh about this was the fact that whenever we see a player within the anime series take their 6 damage, most of the time it's their Vanguard that gets put in that place. And this would have been the case for future Hikari if not for that set order. Again, this was a very Akina-like move, and I'm pretty sure we saw Akina use this type of move and use Aramorta to save himself from Seward's attack at the end of season 1, so I do like this callback / turn of events. So we get more dialogue from these two Hikaris, and without repeating myself too much, I really liked how they handled this, especially when the future self stated that Hikari's thoughts of making her brother suffer or miserable because of her was just all her own assumption. Akina never once said anything like that, or even hinted at looking after his sister being a burden to him. That eye-opening moment really did showcase a lot of emotion, a lot of passion, energy, and I really did like this segment for what it was. And that emotional talk at the end between the two siblings afterwards was just so wholesome. I actually like seeing how Akina understood how he is a little bit at fault in this situation, because he too thought that everything he was doing was just to make his sister happy, and didn't really consider her feelings in all of this. This shows a good bit of maturity from the character, as well as how much Akina has actually thought about the whole situation since the start of season 2. We now finally understand the reason as to why Hikari has been a bit distant or aggressive towards her brother, and obviously wanted her brother to act more selfishly. And the idea of them both working towards the future together as equals is a nice idea. So I do hope we get to see like something along the lines of Hikari cooking more, so that Akina has some time to relax at home. This wouldn't exactly fix her guilt, so to speak, but it would help alleviate some of it moving forward. As a side note though, I've loved how much of a big sister role future Hikari has been towards her younger self. Things like calling her younger self a big silly girl was just super cute. But again, this show sends daggers into my heart with this character with that line, "At least your big brother is still within reach." Ouch. Now I've not fully recovered emotionally from that line, but there's no time for that, as the plot excels, blowing my mind even further. So a lot of things are getting tied up here. We're learning about different things and how everything connects. We have things like the incident from 10 years ago, Hikari's illness, the disconnection from planet Krei and Earth, and the antagonist. All of this is connecting together, yet there are still some unknown factors that still need to fill the puzzle pieces. I loved how the illness wasn't anything doctors could fix, as this was in fact Sybil that was residing inside of Hikari. And every time her body was having an attack or a seizure, this was our antagonist slowly depleting Hikari's life force. But with Akina's wish in the last season, this cured little Hikari of this. Of course though, the future one is still around, and with her still being in the picture, this gave Sybil the perfect opportunity to release himself and take the energy that was gathered from this tournament. Obviously all of this did give us more light on the illness situation, as well as keeping future Hikari important. But it also gives her a cure, so to speak, because as we learned in the last episode, although the little one was cured because of Akina's wish, this did not affect future Hikari because she wasn't from that world. But now that Sybil is out of Hikari's body, she's essentially been cured. So I'm still hopeful that there will be a happy ending for this character because she definitely needs it. And speaking of happy endings, is there going to be one for our favourite pink-haired girl in Now? After all, she suddenly gained a massive role within the story, being that she somehow did something to seal away Sybil's power. And as a result, she's now being fully possessed. Or you could say, death-ridden. Anyone remember that phrase from the G era of Vanguard? Well, bringing it back. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with these characters and how she's going to be playing a role moving forward, as well as obviously what cards and styles and decks are going to be using. As a side note though, seeing all of the other characters but in their younger states on the bus was so cute. Little Suo, Aikawa, Mikoto, Now, and the siblings. But it's strange how no one really remembers anything except for Aikawa. Maybe it's because he is being polluted and influenced by Sybil's power? But wouldn't Hikari remember too? I don't know. So hopefully that does again get expanded on moving forward. Or maybe it's because Aikawa wasn't exactly infected by the incident, he just saw it from a distance. Okay, so using a card to transport yourself from Earth to Cray is a concept that we've heard before in different seasons of Vanguard. But it makes sense that the connection between Earth and Cray would have been disconnected at the same time in that 10 years ago accident that occurred, as it looks like the card that is used for transportation was sealed away. Now, a few episodes ago, we did have a segment where Now was looking through her old cards and then found something interesting, and we all thought at the time Akina would be given a card to help him move forward. But maybe this relates to Sybil's deck, as Now has never seen this card before as she looked quite surprised, so maybe it's something that linked her to Sybil even earlier than this episode. With all that being said though, an evil Now, I can't lie, looks incredible. It does have a slightly older and maturer look to the character, and it does make her look more elegant and fiery. Her hair is doing something crazy, and those scarlet eyes are very on brand with Sybil's MO. I can't wait to see what happens next. Hopefully we get to see what actually happened in the incident 10 years ago, and I can't wait to see what deck this antagonist will be using now it's controlling one of our fan favourite characters. So let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments down below. Love to hear what you have to say. And of course, have a great day. Arigato, matane, goodbye.